How's it going, everyone? My name is Bertimus, and welcome back to Tabs Madness. Today, we're looking at the finalists from each faction, including the two from the Seeker faction, and seeing who is going to reign supreme in 1v1 combat. We've taken our finalists from every video before this, put them all in their own individual bracket for the finalists of all of this, so it's a little more evenly distributed throughout, and now it is time to see who's gonna reign supreme. Our first matchup in the finalist bracket starts us off with the King, our number 8 seed, coming in at 1,500 points. The King has shown a lot of tenacity when it comes to doing battle with his great big sword and increased HP, but will he be able to take on his challenger in an effective manner? Going up against the King is our number 9 seed representing the Farmer faction, the Scarecrow, coming in at 1,200 points. Now, the Scarecrow has shown us in the past that those individual units that it can spray out can be hugely devastating. How will that affect the King's ability to swing with his long sword and his increased HP? In a battle of titans, we see the King moving in to take on the Scarecrow unit. Now, when he gets into range of the... There we go. So now he's gotten to the range of the crows. Will the crows be able to take him down before he even reaches the Scarecrow? The answer is yes. The Scarecrow, with his ranged independent units, is very, very strong. And the Scarecrow will be moving on. That means the King and the medieval faction that he represented have now been eliminated. Our first challenger in this matchup is our number 5 seed, the Pirate Queen, coming in at 2,500 points. Now, we've seen in the past, the Pirate Queen has a lot of tricks. She has melee, she has range, she has the ability to jump up into the air and drop bombs as she's jumping into the air. These can be a combination that is uniquely deadly to most units. But how will her challenger match up against it? Representing the Wild West faction, we have our number 12 seed, the Lasso unit, coming in at 850 points. This unit has been a big upset. I don't think anyone saw that this unit right here from the Wild West faction was going to be the one to make it through to represent the faction as a whole. Now, it does have some unique properties in the fact that it's got the horse, which has some speed, the lasso, which can trip up a unit and drag them around. Will he be able to drag the Pirate Queen off the map before she's able to start doing any sort of damage with her jumping, with her bombs, with anything else that she's got? Let's find out. Lasso unit coming in hard and heavy, going quick. He has now tripped up the Queen, but it seems like he has gotten stuck. The Queen has taken out the horse, arguably the most powerful part, and she has moved on. Lasso unit didn't have what it takes to take down the Pirate Queen when it comes to 1v1. That means the Wild West has been eliminated. Our next matchup has us starting off with the representative of the Dynasty faction, our number 7 seed, the Monkey King, coming in at 2,000 points. The Monkey King has some speed. He has technique. He also has the ability to clone himself in order to get more hits in. This is a uniquely powerful unit, and I don't know how he's going to fare against his challenger. Going up against the Monkey King is our representative from the Viking faction, our number 10 seed, the Longship, coming in at 1,000 points. Now, the Longship really just kind of has the one trick, so the Longship has to make it count right off the bat, and if that doesn't work, well, you still have about 5 different units that could do some damage, but will they be able to take on the Monkey King mano-a-mano? Alright, our units are approaching each other again. The Longship has to make this first attack really count in order for it to be impactful. The Longship does hit the Monkey King and winds up knocking him out. I thought for sure he was going to get back up, but the Longship really did what I said they had to do. They made that one hit count. They have now eliminated the Dynasty faction and will be moving on to the next round of matchups. Our next matchup starts us off with our representative from the tribal faction, the Mammoth, our number 6 seed, coming in at 2,200 points. He's big, he's bad, he's bulky, but does he have what it takes to take on the opponent for this particular round with all of that bulk and stamina? Going up against the Mammoth is our representative from the Ancient faction, our number 11 seed, the Ballista, coming in at only 950 points. Now, again, another upset unit, but it does have that huge, powerful first shot that can be critical when talking about 1v1 damage here. If he can get off one, maybe even two shots, I'm not sure how much HP the Mammoth actually has, but those hits could be critical, because if the Mammoth closes, it's toast. It's over. Mammoth is going to win. But let's find out what happens. Now, like I said, these first couple shots with the Ballista are going to really matter on how much it slows down the Mammoth. The Mammoth has just taken the first volley directly into the face. Will the Ballista be able to reload fast enough to get another volley and potentially take out the Mammoth? Mammoth has now taken 2 volleys. I don't think the Ballista has enough time to get another shot in. I don't know how strong the Ballista is, but if he could manage to pull it off, a third volley, he gets it right into the center mass and the Mammoth goes down. Ballista is incredibly powerful. The strength and precision of those hits is what secured the Ballista a spot moving forward, eliminating the tribal faction altogether from this competition. Our next round starts us off with the winner of the first match, the representative coming from the farmer faction, the Scarecrow, who has proved to us again that those independent units can be hugely powerful at a distance. But this challenger, I feel, may be a little different. Going up against the Scarecrow is our first representative from the Secret Units faction, our number 1 seed in this bracket, Artemis, coming in at 6,500 points. Artemis, big in points, big in damage. Those dual bows and the rapid pace that they are able to fire can usually keep any unit at a distance long enough to just outright kill them. How is that going to work against independent units being thrown at her from all sides? Let's find out. Now, this is going to be range on range, so we're going to see some distance between these units, but who is going to be able to start firing first? My guess is Artemis. I was correct, and that's all it took. Wow. Artemis coming in to prove dominance, that the secret faction is truly where power lies. There is a reason she is the most expensive unit in this game, and I have a feeling we'll be seeing more of her down the road. That means that the farmer faction has been officially eliminated from this challenge, and Artemis moves on. Our next matchup starts us off with our representative from the pirate faction, the Pirate Queen, who took the second matchup, sweeped it all together. Will she be able to pull off another trick like that against this very damaging, unique opponent? Going up against the Pirate Queen is our number 4 seed, representative of the spooky faction, the Reaper unit, coming in at 2,500 points, a point equivalent to the Pirate Queen. Does that mean they're equal in damage? Let's find out. Who's going to win? All right, our opponents are approaching each other. Now, I don't know if the Pirate Queen will qualify for the tentacle usage of the Reaper. That all depends on how much HP she has. But Reaper is able to get in some quick cuts and starts to get the Pirate Queen in a really tight spot. She has now fallen off the map as she explodes in a blaze of glory. The Reaper has just secured himself a place in the next round of matches simply by pushing his opponent off the map. The pirate faction has now been eliminated from this tournament, and the Reaper moves on. Our next matchup starts us off with our representative, or representatives, of the Viking faction, the Longship, who has been very surprising in this whole tournament so far, I have to admit. Although, I'm a little concerned about their particular opponent for this particular matchup. Going up against the Longship in this matchup right now is our number 2 seed, the Ice Giant, our other representative from the Secret faction, coming in at 6,000 points. Again, that Longship is going to have to really make this one first hit count if it wants to do anything to stop this ice giant. This ice giant is brutal. It's big. It's a tank. It is meant to destroy. Let's find out what happens. Alright, Longship really has to make this first hit count. Again, I don't know if it'll be enough to take down the ice giant, but hopefully it will do enough damage to at least score some hits. They didn't even get to use the Longship. The ice giant just grabbed it like a toy, said see you later, and flung them all off the map. Wow. That is the kind of action we are here for. Ice Giant providing us with the entertainment we all crave, the lust for power and glory. Ice Giant, flinging a toy across the map, has secured his place in the next round of matchups, and the Viking faction has now been eliminated. Our next match starts us off with our representative from the ancient faction, the Ballista, who has proved time and again that the power of the individual hits coming out of this unit are supremely destructive and powerful. But one man-made machine goes up against another with this opponent. Going up against the Ballista is our representative from the Renaissance faction, the Da Vinci tank, our number 4 seed, coming in at 4,000 points. Now, the trick is going to be keeping the flaps on the Da Vinci tank closed as the Ballista comes in. That armor is going to be crucial to stop the penetrating power of the Ballista. If that can get through and get to Da Vinci himself, the driver, it's game over. Now, we've seen this before. Due to the nature of the map, the Da Vinci tank is not able to get close enough to start doing damage. The question is, will the Ballista at this range be able to take down the Da Vinci tank, or will the Ballista need to be able to close in order to do sufficient damage? We're gonna have to find out. And that didn't take long at all. 2 shots from the Ballista powers through the armor of the Da Vinci tank, and it just explodes everywhere on the map. We are talking total annihilation for this particular unit from the strength of that Ballista. That Ballista is just so strong and powerful. It's got to move on to the next round, and that means the Renaissance faction has now been officially eliminated from this tournament. Ballista, very, very surprising when it comes to 1v1 matchups. Starting off our first semifinal match is Artemis, who is our first representative from the secret faction, happens to be the most costly unit in Tabs, and has proven that her destructive force knows no bounds. Will her opponent prove too much to handle this particular time? Going up against Artemis in our first semifinal matchup is the Reaper unit, representing the spooky faction. Also, very, very powerful unit in this game, but his trick is getting in close. Will Artemis prevent that from happening with the barrage of arrows she will be throwing at him before he's able to get close enough to use any of his tricks and abilities? Our first semi-final matchup, the winner of this one will be moving on to the final match. Who is going to win? As Artemis closes, she is able to start shooting arrows. It seems like the Reaper unit isn't even bothered until he just explodes. Too many arrows, too quickly, and the Reaper unit is sent on his way back to the shadows. The spooky faction has now been officially eliminated, and it looks like the secret units are starting to sweep this entire competition. Our second semi-final match starts us off with our other representative from the secret faction, the Ice Giant, who is just so big and powerful. He has proved that he is truly and figuratively a titan among Tab's units. Going up against the Ice Giant in our second semi-final match is the Ballista unit, representing the ancient faction, the only other faction still being represented in this competition aside from the secret faction. Will he be able to shoot fast enough to take down the Ice Giant before the Ice Giant picks it up and flings it around like a toy? Ballista firing up its first shot, launches its first volley dead center into the Ice Giant. The Ice Giant is slow and lumbering and moving in. Ballista gearing up for shot number 2. Is able to get it in. The Ice Giant looks like it may be slowing down a little bit, but it's hard to tell. He closes. He gives one swing to the Ballista, and that's all she wrote. The Ballista, at this particular range and distance, was not able to keep the Ice Giant from batting it around like a toy. And that means that now the ancient faction has been eliminated, and we are going to a straight secret unit faction matchup for the finals to see who will be the best 1v1 unit in all of Tabs. It is a battle of the secret faction here in the final matchup for this entire tournament. Who will reign supreme? Both units have worked very hard and battled very diligently to get here. The amount of arrows coming from Artemis into the Ice Giant seems to be non-stop. The Ice Giant has closed and is able to get a hit on Artemis and pushes her off the map. When it comes to 1v1 battles in Tabs, the Ice Giant reigns supreme. Nothing can take on his power, might, toughness, and tenacity. There you have it, our final matchups against all the finalists across all of the factions within Tabs. We saw a lot of good units come through today. Honorable mention to the Ballista being a lot more powerful and stuck around a lot longer than I honestly thought it was going to. Artemis and Ice Giant clearly two of the best units, and costed appropriately, it seems, within the secret faction. And ultimately, in what came to be a secret faction showdown between the two most powerful units in 1v1 battles, it would appear the Ice Giant reigns supreme. All hail the Ice Giant, now crowned best 1v1 unit in all of Tabs. Well, that is for now.